Mr. Speaker, concerns over poor management by this NDP government have been rampant for years. As an example, over many years and many times I've repeatedly raised concerns about the poor provincial management of the Lake Winnipegosis fishery. Indeed, why has this government spent 16 years ignoring its own fishery management responsibility, to the point where the government has been called recently one of the worst fisheries management people in the world?
I thank the member from River Heights for the question. It is important to have a fisheries management program in all of Manitoba, indeed across the entire country, and that's why we're very proud of the fact that the people around Waterhen Lake have been so involved in getting eco-certification for that lake. And that is one of the very few lakes in Canada and indeed in the world that has received that eco-certification. It's a good example of what you can do when First Nations and fishers and government works together to improve their ability to manage the fishery in a sustainable way. And the minister has moved very quickly with members of First Nations communities to forge a partnership to look at how they can move forward on making the fishery more sustainable. We will work with fishers to do that. We will work with with First Nations, Métis and Inuit people to do that in areas where they reside. We will look at the way that we can move forward on that because we do want to have a sustainable fishery. Fish is a very good quality, high protein product for the benefit of not only Manitobans but exports around the world.
That's right. Mr. Speaker, last week the Vancouver Eco-Certification Agency, Sea-Choice, declared fisheries on Manitoba's largest lakes among the worst managed in the world. Scott Forbes, a well-known Manitoba scientist, validated their criticisms. Manitoba fishers do an excellent job providing high-quality fish, but the NDP have wasted 16 years letting our fishers down by not ensuring a strong, modern, and sustainable management approach. What was this NDP government doing in the last 16 years instead of addressing this issue to prevent the problem that we have today?
Some of the things that we've been doing is we brought in a lake-friendly accord, Mr. Speaker.
That's right.
Another thing we did, and Manitoba was the first jurisdiction to do, was to require that all products used in Manitoba be water-friendly, lake-friendly products. No phosphates in Manitoba, Mr. Speaker. Even the federal Conservative government supported that and rolled it out across the whole country, but it was started in Manitoba, Mr. Speaker. We brought in the Save Lake Winnipeg Act, Mr. Speaker, to reduce nutrient loading on the lake. The opposition, the Conservatives, voted against it. Every chance they could, they tried to stop that project. And we are continuing to reduce nutrients in Lake Winnipeg. And we are now, with the experience in Waterhen, which is as I understand it, Mr. Speaker, one of the first lakes in the Western Hemisphere to receive eco-certification, sets a good model for how we can move forward on that, Mr. Speaker. And we look forward to doing that.
Mr. Speaker, the Premier is playing dodgeball. There have already been many reviews of our Great Lakes fisheries. I table the title page of one of these from 4 years ago, and it provides a step-by-step action plan to improve fisheries management. Instead of implementing this plan, the Premier and his government have drastically cut staff in the fisheries branch. Why did the Premier cut people and then call a review instead of just implementing the plan he already has?
Waterhen Lake is the first freshwater lake in the Western Hemisphere and the second in the world to receive eco-certification. That is a way forward. It was done in partnership with the fishers and the people that live and draw sustenance from the lake, Mr. Speaker. That is a model we believe in when it comes to resource management and resource development. Do proper land use planning, do proper lake planning, do it in partnership with Indigenous peoples, Inuit, Métis, First Nations peoples, do all of those things together. What's the approach of the opposition? A narrow approach. Leave people out.
Yeah.
Don't protect them from bullying.
Right.
Leave them out when it comes to the apology for the 60s scoop. The leader of the opposition didn't even have the decency to stand up and offer an apology, Mr. Speaker. We see that every single day. They look for ways to exclude people from economic opportunities. They look for ways to exclude people from participating in the life of Manitoba, whether it be cultural or otherwise, Mr. Speaker. When it comes to fisheries, when it comes to resource development, we will do it in a full partnership with the mining sector, the fishing sector, land use planning. That will be the way forward, and it'll be a way.
The Honourable First Minister's time on this question has elapsed.